Hello, it's Elaine. How are you today? Thank you for joining. I'm the owner and creator at Inspired by My Angel, CLM. And what you're watching today is going to be a centerpiece. I thought perhaps we could try to do that together. Just going to show you a few of the things I have. I picked up this, it's one of those faux books that opens, and I just thought, oh, wouldn't that make a beautiful container for a floral arrangement for the coffee table, the bedroom, an entry hall. I just thought it was pretty. I have not learned this in my design class. I will be using the principles that I have learned, but I've never seen one of these made. So we're going to be doing this together for the first time. So, just to tell you a little bit about myself before we get started, I am new at the art of floral designing. My journey began September of 2020. What I thought I would like to do, because I have found this to be my passion, it gives me great joy to create. And I thought, as someone new, and perhaps if you're watching and you've never tried, I could inspire you to give this a try and come along with me on the journey. I'm by no means a professional, so bear with me, and let's create a pretty centerpiece. First, I'm going to show you, this is the container that we're going to use. I've got some greenery, some boxwood here that I'll be using. I've also got 2 bushes of florals that we'll be taking pieces from, which, as you can see, my inspiration being the book. I'm picking up all the colors that are in it. So this is the inspiration. And that's one thing I have learned in design school, is you choose your florals according to your inspiration piece. And for me today, this is my inspiration piece, is this faux book. Okay, so let's get started. First off, I need to get some floral foam that we can put our flowers in. So I need to place this down into, and I want to adhere that. So what I'm going to do, I'm using a glue skillet today, which is just an electric skillet, a small 6 or 8 inch. You can pick it up on Amazon or Walmart. I've got a stem that I put some glue on, and I'm just going to smear that on my foam. Get some coverage there so we get a good contact with the bottom of our book. So that's all I've done. We're going to turn that over and center it, and just press that into our container. Okay. Next, what we would need to do, I'm going to just turn this towards me, I think you can still see it, is I need to cover this up with a little bit of Spanish moss. So I've got some Spanish moss here, and I just want to apply this in a very thin layer. Just to disguise the foam that we've got underneath. We'll have so many florals in here you won't see it, but you want to pretty much get it covered. The reason we don't want to use too much, what I have learned, is the moss and the glue would make it very difficult to pierce your stem, because what would happen as I applied the glue to my stem and went to insert, the glue would pool. It would catch on our moss, not giving me that good contact that I need to make with my floral foam. So we're just going to do this lightly. We're not going to glue it on because that would create a barrier and we wouldn't be able to insert our stems. So we're just going to cover this lightly. And what I'm going to use to hold this in place are floral pins, or I think they're called, you can see that, it's just a U. There you go, you can see it there. And what I'm going to do is just grab the moss, take the pin, place it inside. Spread this moss out a little bit. Take another one, place it on this corner. Okay, then I'm going to just fill in the sides, just tucking that down inside of our box container. This is our book. Just to fill that void that we have there. A little more towards the front. I'm just going to take a couple of my U-pins here. So I think we've used a total of 6. Okay. You can see that. Okay, now because we're going to design and I want it to look like an open book, I want it to stay open. So what I've done is found a little shim of wood. Actually, it was a clothespin that I broke off some of the wooden piece of it. And what my thoughts are is I would insert that into my foam, gluing it into the foam, and placing some glue here so that it'll hold the book open in this position. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to dip this into my glue. I'm just going to center it. Press it down into the foam. And then the book will be open like this. So I want to put a little glue on the top. So I'm just going to bring my stem, put a little on the top, and a little to the back, and press my book cover to that. We'll just hold it there for a minute. And that's what it looks like. But we'll be covering that up with our greenery. So I went ahead and I cut a few pieces of the boxwood. And I've just made them short. And what I'd like to do is just go in. I'm going to make sure you can see this. And begin inserting to give us a backdrop. So I'm going to dip the stems in my glue. The first one I'm going to place right in front of that shim that we put in there to hold our book open. Like that. And now I'm going to just continue to create a backdrop for our arrangement. Going into our foam. Adhering. our greenery. So it looks something like this. You can't even see that shim that I put in there once we get the florals in. We'll probably add some more of this greenery to the front as we go along so that we have it dispersed evenly. But now I'd like to cut into my floral bushes here and get a few stems ready. We're done with our U-hook, so we'll get those out of the way. Our Spanish moss. Okay, I'm going to just set our book aside right over here. And now let's, this is the first bush that I selected. What I'm going to do, we've got some long pieces that might be something that we'd like to use, have it trailing. You know, that might be pretty trailing out of our book. So I'm going to cut those off. You know, we'll bend those and give them a little bit of life. We don't want them to just be straight. So we'll have those off to the side. It looks like we've got some lavender, some white berries, so just get a few of these cut. Looks like it has a little, like a frosted, not frosted, like a soft, like a lamb's ear or a Dusty Miller. So I'm just going to keep my pieces separated so I know what I've got. Get another piece of berry. Again, this has that leaf on it. Let's see what else we can use here. Here's another berry. And I'll adjust the length on these as we place them and see where we're going to be putting them. There's another berry. I like the contrast of the greens and the gray. I think that's going to be interesting. So let's see, we've got 1, 2. This is a little different. This is more of a spikier berry. These push up so we can make them as long or short as we need them. We'll keep that greenery that's on there. There's a little bit more of our purple. Let's get another one of those. Slide that up. Okay, so we've got a few pieces of the purple. We've got some of our white berry mix. We've got our 2 ivy pieces. This one's a little bit different. I'm not sure what it is, but it's very pretty. The more we add, the more interest we'll create in our design. So I'm going to get another one of those. If I can slide some of this I can't. Okay, so let me push this back down. Let's get another piece of that. I like this one. I have one of those over here. It's got like just a little bit of yellow, and I'm not sure if capturing it on the camera, but there's a little bit of yellow here in the medallion on the book, so that's nice to incorporate that. So I'm going to take another one of those. Okay, we'll set that aside for now. And we do have quite a bit of blue in our box. So I thought we'd take some of this bush. Okay, and this, let's see, we can just tear a section off and work with that. Get my price tag off. And this too has a little bit of the long vine. It's very interesting. We've got berries. We've got a little bit more of the purple. Here's some more. Trailers. Beautiful blueberries. This spiky, I'm not quite sure what it is. And we've also got a piece of our fern. That's very pretty. Just gonna trim that end off. Let's just try that on for size. Maybe get one of these long pieces going one side, the other one coming this way. Bending our leaves, giving the movement. Bring this over. Let's just see how we would like that. I think that's a good beginning. Why don't we get that inserted? We'll put a little bit of glue. We only need to insert that about an inch, ½ inch to an inch. And the effect I want is just that the florals, the berries, are just spilling out of the book. So that's a nice beginning. Okay. Got a little lavender right here, this spilling. Let's separate them. We'll have one going this side. Trying to get our coloring dispersed evenly. Just draping out. These are pretty. You see the height. Trim this down a little. I think that towards the back would be nice, so we'll put one over here, mixing it in with our greenery. You can just see that growing as if this were a little garden that we're creating. Let's get another piece of that. What we did on this side, we'll do on the other side. We won't make it matchy-match, but we want it to be dispersed throughout. So that one was towards the back. I think I'll bring this one a little more forward. So get a little bit of our glue. Let's just go right in here. Give it a bend. Can you see that? So we've got a little on this side and a little over here. Okay, let's bring these yellow pieces that we have. Going to pull a little bit of that leaf off, cut this stem a little shorter, and I'm thinking back here with our taller pieces. So we'll introduce this yellow and that nice gray greenery, so we're getting a lot of texture. Take a little bit of that off. We'll place another one on the other side. A little coming out the side there, that would look pretty. That's what we've got after we place. We have a little bit of yellow. And we have another piece here. So I'm going to just keep going along and adding as we go. You could bring a little bit of this white I'll bring that forward. This kind of looks like a hollyhock. We'll place that. This one's a little longer. Like the varying heights. I think that would look nice trailing out the side here. Adding to our perimeter. We'll get something else coming out over here also. So I think I'll place this one on that side. So you can see how far out we are, and on this side as well. We've got our berries tumbling down towards the front. Let's incorporate a little bit more of this lavender. And I want to build my design with a little height in the center and then tapering off. So I'm going to place this one towards the center in the back. Just giving us a little bit of height. And another one over here in this corner, and I'll go back through and cut out another piece of this as well. We'll put 3. So let's get this one in. I'm just going to go back in and cut one more out of this bush. Okay, let me just turn it towards me so we've got some here. I'm going to bring this one a little more forward. Letting it spill over the side. We need to get a little bit of that blue. So again, I'll go to my bush here. That's a little thin, so what I'd like to do is build it up. So I'm going to combine and make my own little bundle. So I'll have a little bit of white berry and the blueberry. We'll just trim those so they're the same length. Give that a little twist. Now we bulked it up, we'll be able to insert that. And just make sure where we want it. We've got this in the center. I think back here would look pretty. So now we've brought some of the blue that we have in the front. Bringing it through the back, and we'll need to get a little more over here on this side. Again, it's a little thin, so to build that up, I'm going to add another piece to it. Twist them together. It's making it a little thicker, so I can insert that into my floral foam. So let's see, we've got the blue. So I think we need to bring that over here in this area. So we're kind of going back, forward. We just keep staggering our florals as we go. And I got a good contact insertion with that. We'll have the blue going off. And that's coming along nice. That looks very, very pretty. Very natural, very garden looking. Okay. Let's see. Let me take a look at it. We've got these other long trailing pieces. I think one coming out on either side, kind of at the corner of the book, would be pretty because we've got the berries spilling out. There's some leaves on the bottom. I'm just going to pull those leaves off just to give us a stem. Give it a little bend. And I think right at the corner, I'll insert it back so it's not too long, but we'll let that flow off to the side here. Like that. We've got one back here. So now we've brought another one, creating some movement. We've got that coming towards the side. So let's do the same. We've got another one here. Just pull those lower leaves off. Again, my insertion point is going to be further back because it's a long piece. Give it a bend. Move your florals around so that it's pleasing to you. And now we've got that other piece. So we've got some trailing out. Our color is dispersed evenly. We got a good secure where we're glued, so that'll stay in the open position. Okay, we've got some of these feathery. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but they're pretty. I'd like to bring some of those in. Cut that off. And let's see where we want to place them. I think right in here would look nice. We did that over here, so let's get one on the other side. Just going to twist them together. Getting those leaves going in the right direction, giving it a little bit of movement. And I think right in here is going to look pretty. Okay, I like this little piece of fern. We've got another one here. Let's get another one of those in there. You don't want to leave it flat. So we just want to take it, just bend it, and you see it'll start to open up. So we've got one right here. Put one on that corner. Give it a little bend. That looks pretty. If you can see where we are so far, I think we're almost done. But I am thinking I would like to bring some of this deeper green of the boxwood that we placed in the back as our base. I'm thinking that would look pretty spilling out over here on the side. Just making it more evenly dispersed throughout the design. I'll put one on that side. Let's put another one over here. Trying to maintain how far we come out. Keep it even. That bend down a little. You can see I just put those two pieces in. So we've got one just filling it out on this side, bringing a little bit of that deeper green towards the front. And I think we'll add a couple of more pieces. So let me clip some of that. There we go. We've got another one here. This one I had cut earlier, the top of it off. So I'm not sure that you can see, there is a stem here that these would slide off. So what I do is I just take my plier and I just bend and curl that under, and that way these won't fall off. You can cut this stem a little shorter. And I think I'm just going to come under these. It's going to help to lift these a little bit. Get my stem. And I've made good contact. I could hear it. And that looks nice bringing that forward. So let's do the same thing over here. I'll cut another piece and bring the bush over. These are nice. You can slide these to make it as full and long as you need it. But then what I do is go back and just curl that under so the rest of that stem, it will catch and it's not going to slide off. A little more down here that we can bring up. So I think I want to put this larger one, but I want to go underneath. I just want as a base so the other textures show against it. So I'm just going to lift that up, come underneath. Let our berries, our lavender be the star, and that is our backdrop. And then I'd like to put one right here in the center. Then we have this deeper green with the boxwood all in the back. We've brought it off to the sides and in the front. So we've got a really pretty centerpiece. But what I think I'd like to do is just, I'm going to grab a couple of stems of yellow. Just maybe 3, just to brighten it up a little bit. And like I said, there is a little bit of yellow in the book cover. So let me just grab some yellow. This is pretty. It's got a little bit of white and just a tad of the yellow. I just like to bring a little pop of that yellow in. So let's add some of this. Just maybe 3 pieces. I don't particularly like the leaves on this, so I'm not going to use those. But I do recommend later cutting them off and saving them. You can always use them to cover up the mechanics on whatever project you're working on. So there we've got 2. And 3. Just let me get some of this out of your way so you can see a little better without all that distraction. I'm hoping you're seeing this okay. Okay, so what my thoughts are is bringing a little pop of that yellow right in there and creating a little bit of height over the top of our book. I think that will look nice. And I may need to add a floral pick to that. So let me get that out and I can show you how to do that as well. So this is a wooden floral pick. Has a little wire. And what I'm going to do is lay that stick, and then it's going to give me another 1.5 inches or so of length. And you just take that small wire that's attached to the top, you just twirl it around the stem. Then you take your floral tape, start at the top, just tug on it a little bit, that helps it to adhere, and we're just going to twirl that in our fingers until we've got that wrapped, and then we just tear it off. So now we have a longer stem. I'm just going to try it on for size, and I think that's going to be perfect. It's going to give us the height we need. And it's just going to bring that yellow in, just peeking over the top like that. Yeah. See? That's nice. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that. We'll add our floral picks. And I hope you can see this. You just lay it beside the stem. That's where the stem ends, and that's going to give us that additional 1 inch of length. And then that little wire that's attached, we're just going to take that, twirl it around the stem and the stick, go back with our floral tape. We just start where we began with the wire, twirling, coming down with our tape, pulling it off, and then we've got a covered stem. So this one I want to put right over here. That's nice. So we've got that little bit of yellow. We've added some height to the back. So again, we've got our third. We'll do the same thing. not sure if I can bring you in a little closer. Okay, this is the wire. There's a wire here. And I just take it and wrap it. Holding the wire and twirling the stem. So now I have that wire on, and now I'm going to come back with my floral tape. I'm going to begin, tug on it a little bit, twirl the stem, tear it off. Okay? Now we've got that added length to it, and we're going to go over here on the other side. And we've just added some height to our piece, and from the back it's peeking over. And I really like that. I think I'm going to add a few more pieces falling forward. At least 2 more. So let's cut off a little more of this. And this time I don't think we'll need to add the wooden pick to it, because we're coming forward and there should be enough length. This I want it to kind of spill forward. So I'm thinking in between but forward the 3 that we put. Yeah, that's going to look pretty. Just what we needed. There. And that gives it a little bit more movement. You see how that's falling forward? Okay, so we put that one. We'll get one more. We placed one here, we have one in the center, so I'd like to come in between the 2. Perfect. And I'm going to place that one right there, give it a bend. It's got some movement, and it's spilling forward. I am loving this. It looks like a wildflower garden that you would come across as you were walking through the meadows and the woods. It's very natural. I think we're done. So just to show you from all sides. And there's the back of our book, the binding. The faux pages are still showing. We haven't disguised it so much that you can't still see all of that. And I just think that on a coffee table with some candlesticks would look beautiful on your side table, in the bedroom, in the bathroom. I think that came out really nice. Thank you for being here with me. This is my first time ever trying this, so we did this together. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please subscribe to my YouTube channel where you're watching this. Like and share. Go to my Etsy shop, Inspired by My Angel, CLM. See the other items that I have in my shop. Give me a like, favorite when you go there. It will help my business grow. Let's help our small businesses. And again, I want to thank you so much for coming along with me on my journey. And I hope today I've inspired you and that you'll try making a centerpiece. So until the next video, I'm going to say bye-bye for today. Thank you again.